The best is yet to come, and babe, won't that be fine? The best is yet to come. It's the 9 at 9.
Mike just mentioned it's Evel Knievel's birthday.
Yeah,
That's great.
Remember last year we had the stunt cycle jumping over things in here? That was last year.
did?
Yeah.
Good times.
Recollection.
Good times.
Number 9, we showed an old commercial for the George Foreman grill yesterday. There's a bit of a Chicago connection there. The guy who came up with the original concept of the grill was Michael Bohm from Batavia. Bohm is the inventor of lots of things, and in 1993, with a partner, he created the grill by first using a cast iron baking sheet set at an angle so the fat would drip away. So he knew the concept worked, and he kept refining it. At the time, he was the GM of a Chinese electronics manufacturer here in Illinois, and they made it and called it the Short Order Grill. But Bohm thought he could do more with it, and the key was marketing. The idea went to an agent. There are reports that Hulk Hogan passed before George Foreman was convinced when his wife made him a burger on it. It came out in 1994, and well over 100 million of them have been sold. At its peak, Foreman was making $4.5 million a month from the grill.
Wow.
And it's estimated he made about $200 million. Bohm made the product as an employee of the company, so he didn't make any money other than his salary.
What? I hate stories like that. I'm happy for George Foreman, but the inventor makes nothing?
You think George cut him in on a couple of shekels? You would hope,
Jeez,
right?
I would hope so. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Wow.
Man.
Well, listen, look what we created here. And what do we get?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we almost need to have a moment of silence.
Oh, man.
Maybe he's from Batavia.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's
Batavia,
still
yeah.
around. I'd like to
Go
reach
out
out
and
to him
visit
and
him.
find out.
Yeah, let's
bring him lunch.
give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's got some other ideas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or some grievances he'd like to hear.
You probably give us some great advice here. All right, number 8. There was a time when a celebrity's Q score meant everything. In a nutshell, the Q score measures a celebrity's likability. It can also be applied to the familiarity or appeal of a brand. And celebs with the highest Q scores include like Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks, Dwayne Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds, Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, and Dolly Parton. Some celebrities with the lowest Q scores include the Kardashians, Chris Brown, Machine Gun Kelly, and Amber Heard.
I don't know, but the Kardashians are doing all right for having this low likability. A lot of
they're doing
people
all right.
like
Well,
them.
it's one of those, it's like 10, the percentage that loves them,
Yeah.
and then percentage that hates them.
Right.
Still watches. Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, number 7. Check out this house. It's a fantasy land known as Dragon's Knoll in North Carolina. It's built into the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's part of a company called Tree Houses of Serenity. You can rent it on Airbnb. It's built to feel like you're underground without being claustrophobic, and elements are designed to mimic the feel of being outdoors while you're inside. The owners even bought rock from the outside to keep with the natural aesthetic. The living room has seating areas, TV, fireplace. One of the bedrooms is also in the living room because there's a bit of a rustic vibe. Look at that.
As long as there's a TV, right?
There's also a fireplace, but no oven. You have to use a hot plate.
I'm fine with the hot
I'm sure
plate.
you can deliver food there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, number 6, the viewers of the WGN Morning News are surely passionate about issues of the day like immigration and democracy, but what really gets them going is candy. Robin's list about Halloween candy Tuesday nearly broke the machine on which we all received those texts.
Oh, really?
Here are just some of the old-time candies that many, many, many people wanted to speak up for.
Oh,
I remember
Chuckles.
those.
Chuckles were great. Those were sugar-coated jelly candies in assorted flavors: cherry, lemon, licorice, orange, and lime. Could have done without the licorice. I don't know what licorice is doing with fruit flavors.
Yeah.
That was the one I always tossed. People who grew up in the 70s.
Oh, I loved a marathon.
They remember the Marathon bar. It's just caramel covered in chocolate, and it looks like a braided belt.
Ooh.
They stopped making it in 1981. But if you want one, Cadbury now makes the exact same thing and it's called a curly whirly.
Oh, that's
how about
a
that?
fun word, curly whirly.
Yeah.
Fun to say.
Turkish taffy. Do we have a picture of that one?
I
I
don't
remember these.
This comes in vanilla, chocolate, and banana.
Taffy's fun.
It
I
was in,
liked taffy.
oh,
This taffy pulling
yeah,
contest.
it's nice. Pull your cap
out,
of your
yeah.
teeth right out. It was invented in Coney Island in 1912, then sold to the Tootsie Roll Company of Chicago. It was discontinued in 1989, but two guys bought the brand and started making it again in 2010. God bless them. In this one,
Oh, I like these.
the
Oh,
old
those are good.
caramel creams.
Oh, yeah.
Also known as bullseyes, or the thing your grandmother has a dish of on her coffee table. Caramel
I like
on the
those.
outside, vanilla in the middle.
Fun.
It's old-timey.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
All right, number 5, you might have seen the actress Caitlin Dever on TV recently. She's been in the recent hit movies Dope Sick and Booksmart, and she's in the new movie with Julia Roberts and George Clooney called Ticket to Paradise. And maybe you saw our interview yesterday with the guy who made a documentary about Barney the dinosaur. Well, bet you didn't know that Caitlin Dever's father is the one who did the voice of Barney. He wasn't the main guy, but Tim Dever shared the voice role of Barney in 9 home videos. So he did part of the time he did it, usually serving as his speaking voice while other actors did the singing voice. He would later go on to do voices of another popular children's character, Bob the Builder. What do you know? What do you know?
What do you know? Number 4, happy 70th birthday to the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas. It's one of the oldest remaining hotels on the Vegas Strip. The hotel opened October 7th, 1952. Over the years, it hosted the Rat Pack, the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and the Beatles. In recent years, it has undergone $150 million in renovations, including an updated entrance and a special light show. The oldest property on the Strip is the Flamingo, which is also up and running.
All right. Number 3, nothing terrifies employees more right now than 2 little words, please fix. According to work scientists, we're living in a please fix culture right now. And some employees, especially younger ones, consider these types of emails terse and abusive. It's usually written as please fix, as in PLS fix, not even fully spelled out. And it's a fixture on consulting jobs, business jobs, and most places that deal with clients. Oftentimes they're minor things like adjusting logos or font sizes on presentations, and those fixes can be crucial to making or breaking deals. You might think it's a simple request and you have no idea that it's causing tension or anxiety, but according to your employees, it is. So when you send something back that says please fix, think about it.
All right, number 2,
I
we're
gotta
going
admit, you lost me halfway through
Yeah,
that script, so I'm just trying to be.
I don't think it was my reading this time. I think it might
No,
have been.
you
it
did a
was
good job.
Long circuitous path.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I
Sorry.
go now?
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
all right.
Patrick.
You guys go on as long as you need to.
That's
yeah,
it, that's all I
think we
got.
killed
All
it.
right, because we're going to blow you away with some more candy stuff now.
All right.
Robin also had circus peanuts on her. We're still on this? On her list of Halloween candy yesterday.
What are they?
Circus peanuts led to the creation of Lucky Charms cereal.
See? And I know I love Lucky Charms marshmallows too.
In 1964, General Mills management challenged a team of product developers to use the manufacturing capacity that they already had available and do something unique with it.
Wow.
A product developer named John Holohan chopped up some circus peanuts and added them to a bowl
What
of
do you
Cheerios.
know?
Lucky Charms is the first cereal to include marshmallows in the recipe.
Now I wonder if that guy made any money off his
I bet.
thing. Another guy.
All went to the
A
leprechaun.
generation of obese children, thank you.
Number 1, so we played the old viral clip of Winnebago Man, the outtakes of a guy cursing while he's making a corporate video.
Watched it
Oh, it's
yesterday.
my favorite
Yeah, the guy's
video
name is
on the
Jack Rebney, and back in 2009, filmmaker Ben Steinbauer made a funny documentary about him that you can still stream. It's called Winnebago Man.
All right, here we go. The Winnebago Concepts and Engineering Departments have developed a multifunctional bathroom. Privacy, I don't know what the I'm reading. I'm gonna slate this. Yeah, you big dumb son of a... I don't want any more bull. from anyone. That includes me.
We could never find him, so we just assumed he was gone.
You start to think, well, who is this guy? What happened to him?
That's weird. There's no property, there's no cars, there's no voter registration.
What does that mean?
You don't want anybody to really know who you are and what you're about.
This is Jack Rebney. It's inconceivable to me that you would have any interest in this, but if you want to talk, I'm interested.
Hello, I'm Jack Rebney. I'm known as the angriest man on earth. Accoutrement that you will need. Accoutrement? What is that?
It's always wanted an audience. Just don't think that you're taking advantage of this group of people that you can talk to.
I have no relationship with YouTube. The only thing it will come to is,
Oh, this guy's been crazy all his life.
I'll give you a couple of diatribes.
Action Jack.
How's your audio? Is everything all right there?
Security guard right there.
Call the police now. Get the Gestapo. Want to talk about me?
Yeah.
I'm very old. I'm very crotchety. What else is new? If you don't like it, pack up. Get the out.
Here we go. Buckle up.
You believe any of that? Get out of here, you.
Good. That's great. That's the 9 at 9.
It's the 9 at 9.